What's up again? It's Brian with We Go to You Mechanics. Man, it feels good today. The wind's blowing. It's not 100 degrees. I kind of like it, man. But we're working on a 2002 Toyota Camry, actually 2009 Toyota Camry, 2.4 liter. Came out a few days ago, pressure tested the cooling system, found out the radiator was leaking. So let's do this job, radiator replacement. All right, first thing you want to do is remove the negative battery terminal. We're also going to recommend a terminal cleaning to the customer for $20. Next thing you want to remove is these two 10mm bolts, one right there and one right there. Then it just simply comes out from right there. You pull out, boom, set it to the side. Then we'll go underneath the car and remove this underguard right here. There's going to be some bolts holding it on. I believe there's also some clips holding it on. I'm just going to take it off and then show you a video of where the bolts and the clips are. Okay, if you notice, there's a left-hand side and a right-hand side cover. You're only going to remove the left-hand side. It should be marked with an L because we're going to be draining the coolant out of the radiator. And the only side we need to take off is this left-hand side. So it should be held on by, I believe there was 4 bolts. There's a bolt here, a bolt there, a bolt here in the middle, and then another bolt over here, and then the rest are clips. All right, now you want to drain the radiator. There should be a radiator drain valve. You can see the wings on it right there. There's the wings on it right there. So you'll twist it counterclockwise and it'll open up and drain your radiator. All right, while the radiator's draining, you want to remove the radiator cap. That'll give it some down pressure so that the radiator drains faster. Also, you're going to reuse the radiator cap. You'll want to inspect the radiator cap O-ring or gasket. Make sure there's no cracks, it's not dry rotted, and it looks good. That way we can reuse it and put it on the new radiator. All right, next thing we're going to do is we're going to remove that hose right there. And we're also going to loosen this hose clamp, pull it back a little bit, remove this hose, and then tie it back here with the bungee cord. All right, next thing you want to do is you want to unhook this fan connector. You'll press down and pull it off just like that. And then after that, you'll want to get a clip popper just like this and get these get the rest of this wire that's connected to the other fan unhooked just like that. You got one more right here. There you go. Then the last thing to get this wire off is that connector down there, right there. Same thing as this one. You're just going to press and pull it off. All right, the next thing is you need to get these fans out, and they're held in by these little clips right here. There's one there, and one there. It's 3 clips. The way you get them out is you squeeze it and pull this back. Squeeze it and pull it back. Also, if you notice down here, the lower radiator hose is connected on to the fan right there. You'll want to kind of move it to the side when you pull up on this side. Pull up on the fan from this side first. Once it becomes loose, then it should just come out pretty easily. You'll set it to the side. All right, now that the fan is out of the way, you want to remove this hose clamp right here and move it back, and that hose clamp right there and move it back. Also, you want to get the lower radiator hose clamp and move that back as well. You're going to want to remove all three of these hoses off of this radiator. Now keep in mind, there's going to be transmission fluid coming out of this line right here and this line right here. So as soon as you pull it out, make sure you plug this hose with something so you don't lose all your transmission fluid or some of your transmission fluid. All right, next thing you want to do is get you a 10mm wrench. Take off these 3 bolts right here holding the hood latch. There's 1 and 2. The third one is right there. All right, next thing you want to do, you're going to have a choice on whether or not you want to remove the connector to the horns, which would be right there and right there, or in this case, this car, the connector is on there, is corroded on there pretty good. I just tried to remove it, it won't come off. I don't want to break it, so what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to remove this bolt right here and this bolt right here, and then just let the horns hang down. So you have a choice. You can either remove the connector or the bolt. All right, now it's time to get the upper cross member out of the way. It's going to be held on by 10mm bolts. There's 1, 2. You have to take off that bolt as well. 3. And then we got 4 and 5 right there. Before you remove the upper cross member, you're going to want to make sure you get this clip right here. Squeeze it and press it down. There you go. All right, now we need to separate the condenser from the radiator. It's held on by 2 bolts on the top, 10mm. You're going to want to take that one out and that one out. Okay, also there is 2 10mm bolts on the bottom, 1 right there and 1 right there. As soon as you get those 4 bolts out, you can separate the condenser from the radiator. All right, now that those 4 bolts are out, everything's loose, should be able to pull the radiator up and out. All right, so let me tell you something really important. These radiators, when they come from the factory, they come with a fitting that you need to install. Okay? Also, the fitting that's pre-installed on this radiator, they always come loose. Okay? So you're going to have to tighten it yourself. Be very careful, because if you over tighten, this flare right here will crush, and then you'll have a transmission leak. Okay? And then good luck finding a replacement for it at a parts store. What you'll have to do is you'll probably have to either use the old one or go find some tubing and flare it yourself. It's a pain in the ass if you over tighten these things. So just be careful. What you want to do is you want to go hand tight. All right, hand tight on them. And you'll start to feel when it gets tight. That's probably tight enough. So you'll feel it. You'll feel once it starts to get. You don't want to crank on it too hard. One last thing. Also, don't forget on the old one, take off the rubber bushings and put them on the new one. There should be 4 of them. There's 3 more. Put them on the new one. All right, that's it, man. The fill procedure is to, with the car off, You want to slowly add antifreeze, like just a little stream at a time. It's going to take a while, but you'll slowly add antifreeze until it reaches the filler neck. Once it reaches the filler neck, you can put the cap on, start the car, let it warm up all the way, give it a few good revs over 2,000-3,000 RPMs for a few minutes. Do that, and then shut the car off, let it cool down, check the antifreeze level, and you should be good, man. To do the installation of the radiator, just do everything we've done in reverse. Once again, thank you for watching We Go to You Mechanics. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.